Shuffle down.
Okay, good morning everyone. Have a good day, Singapore. We were in Singapore and this is our last day spending together here in this place. This is our last day of having our second honeymoon, but our first year wedding anniversary. So before we go back to Philippines, we decided to have a bit details, like the question is how we've met.
How we met.
Mm.
So, I attend Victory Life Toowoomba, and we had our pastor there had a chance to go over to Philippines, and decided to attend to take the invitation up and attend the pastors conference that he was doing there, and so he went and attended it, and just before he finished he had because he's social media savvy and likes taking photos, so he took lots of photos at the end with lots of different people, and then he took a photo with a young girl that looked like she was in the youth, but no, I found out that she was one of the youth pastors there, and liked the photo, but I can't, and this is one part I don't remember, but I'll probably get corrected if I'm wrong, but I think I sent you the friend request, or did you? Because I don't know, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay. So anyway, we got connected through Facebook, and started to have build our relationship, our friendship together, and I'll let my wife talk to the next part from there, so we can sort of go backwards and forwards.
Okay, maybe he find hard to remember all the details,
No,
but
no, I remember the details.
Okay.
I just don't want to talk, because I could say the whole thing.
Okay. That was 2013 when I was studying in a university, and then that time I'm also a youth pastor of one of the churches in Philippines, and then we have this conference, pastors conference, and because I'm busy of studying, so I'm not interested to attend to that conference. But way back many years ago, I've been praying for someone, and I'm thinking like, oh, can I attend to this conference so I can ask the pastor, the speaker of this conference, to pray for me regarding my personal life, like regarding my like someone, because I'm too old enough. So that's why. So I decided to attend to that conference, and before that 3 days conference finish, I had a chance to take the photo with the speaker, and I don't know that speaker is his senior pastor. So then he saw that photo of me with his senior pastor on Facebook, so that's why how we get connected. And then after that, we become friends for about August, September, October, November, December, and we talk every day, and then until that December, I think about New Year,
No.
or it's end of the year. It's end of
Boxing
December. It's on holiday. You went with Melissa in a holiday, right? Remember?
Yeah, so I remember because we just finished celebrating Christmas, and it was Boxing Day lunchtime,
Mhm.
and I think he messaged me, but anyway, but over Christmas, I was just just thinking about our conversation and how our friendship was going, and then I decided that I just sort of started to feel that my feelings were starting to change, and I was like, we had so much in common. I was like, what's going on? This is really strange. This is very different than just someone else. Either though, yeah, it's through Messenger, and it seems like you can't talk to them face to face, but it seems like everything just seemed to like, you just seem to be compatible. That was just like how it was, and so my feelings started to change, and my feelings in my heart started to change. So I was like, I just really wanted to get to know Marjorie more, and I said to her, and I just explained how I felt, just being honest, and I said to Marjorie, we never talked about personal life or anything like that. I asked her then if she was single, and she was at the time, and so I said to her that I know that we've been talking and we've got to know each other this much so far. So I said I would really like to know you more, and I would like to see where this went. And with that, I'm not sure what Marjorie was thinking when I said that, but she decides to disappear for a couple of weeks and not message me. Maybe shocked that God moves so fast. from when my senior pastor prayed for her, but it's okay. I respected her in that end, so she come back a couple of weeks later. And
what's the question?
Hmm?
Do you have that question right?
What's that?
That made you disappear for weeks.
Yeah, I was.
That December, while you were in a holiday, you said like, do you have someone?
Yeah, that was on Boxing Day.
Huh?
That was at Christmas time.
Yeah. So what's your question that time to me? Do you remember?
Oh, I do remember saying.
This is what he said. Marjorie, do you have someone that you want to be in a relationship?
Yeah.
Remember?
I do now. So
and then
yeah, okay. Sorry. So I wasn't, because I remember this because there was many girls that I would take that I liked and I took for coffee, and just got to chat with them and just to see whether that was the person God had for me, and after talking to them you find out that they're not, but I know I just felt to tread carefully, and so I asked Marjorie a question that was like in a roundabout fashion. So it's like, so I said to Marjorie, I was like, is there someone in your life that you have that's special, like that you would have a relationship with? And I think if I remember correctly, her answer was, I do, but I'm not sure if he does.
because they didn't know me better yet.
Because he doesn't know me, and I don't know him that much as well. So, and then it was not so long after that that I said, yeah, I liked her, and then all of a sudden she disappears for 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is because of that question, like, because we being friends for months, a few months, and then we talk normally as friends, and then until that month, about end of December, that's your holiday there, right?
Yeah.
You went in a holiday with Melissa, so
Yeah, sure.
he asked me that question, and for me, it's a personal question. So, because he asked if I have someone that I like, that to be with a relationship with. So for me, it's why he asked me that question. That's personal, and I'm I'm not open to. I'm not ready to open to tell about my life, my personal life to him, because I never met him yet personally. So that's why. So from that question, I disappeared for 2 to 3 weeks, I guess. I don't talk to him. I never talk to him again. But I answered him and they said, yeah, I have someone that I like, but because I'm scared because I don't know him yet better, so that's why. And he don't know me better yet as well, so that's why I said yeah. Then that's it. Then after weeks we talk again, and then so I explained to him, I answered him like, why you ask that question, because that question is, yeah, very personal. And only then I remember I didn't answer you right away.
No.
When you asked that question, and that's why I disappeared. And then for 3 weeks, and then I talked to you again, and only then I answered you that question, that yeah, I have someone that I like, but I'm not sure because he don't know me yet and I don't know him better yet. So that's after 3 weeks until I answered your question. And then so from that, I think that's already January 2015. Because you asked me December 2014 and I answer you back on January 2015. So from then, we start talking about our personal life, like we pray for like what
Yeah, we sort of start.
God's will is for us.
Mm.
Because really, he started, I think that time he started like, I love you, or I like you, something like that. But I ignored because I don't like someone tells me on that, on by like through phone or through messages. Because if that person is really sincere, so he should tell that to me personally. So because I'm a Filipino, so I have this culture or traditional culture that if someone like you, he should go to your house and ask permission to your parents, from your parents, that he likes you. So that's why I ignored him, though we still keep talking for months, and we continue get to know each other as friends, like what our common is, what you like, what I like, what you do and what I do, and then and everything. So, and because we have a lot of commons, like he lead the young people in a church and I lead the young people at church, and then he's single and I'm single, and he's praying for someone for a long time ago, and also I keep praying for someone for a long time ago. Like I ask God to bring someone for me that is really for me, because my prayer is that to God is that don't allow me to fall in love with someone that is not for me. So if I fall in love with someone, make sure that he is really the one for me, because of bad situation happens in the past. So I don't want it to happen again to me. So that's why I told him that if you really like me, you have to go to Philippines. No, not like that. I think I didn't tell you that right away, because way back 2013, years before I've met you, there is a missionary lady from Australia as well, and one of my senior pastor's wife, she told that missionary that can you find Marjorie someone from there? And that missionary told me like, oh Marjorie, you have to wait, because God knows your address, where you live, and God will bring that someone to where you are in the right time, in a right way. So that's why from then, I've marked that declaration, that words to my heart and to my mind, that oh yeah, really God knows where I am, where I live. So I'm sure really I don't need to find someone. God will find someone and bring that someone to me. So uh, that's why I never told him that you have to go to Philippines, because that's what God. But we we we, we tell each other, we just pray. But in my heart, I really thought that hopefully he will come to Philippines. But because of
Yeah, and so this was very interesting that Marjorie sort of said that, like, because Marjorie never said to me, like, explained. She explained her culture, but not in that way, like not in like in the sense of courting a single Filipino, but just in general. But what Marjorie didn't know is that my senior pastor said to me, and he said to me 3 times. He said to me, "You need to come with me. You need to come with me to Philippines. You need to come with me for Philippines." So even on the very first time in September, in August 2014, that pastors conference, that was the first time he actually said, "You need to see if you come," but he never pressured me or anything. But I wasn't ready. I didn't have anything ready, and he asked me. I don't think he gave me enough time to prepare to go. So I was just like, no, and I couldn't have time. I was really busy with work at that time, because I didn't have my own business and that, so I couldn't have time off. So and then we were talking into 2015, and everything was just we were just having just an amazing time, just getting to know each other, getting to know what we like, what we don't like, and I think we even got to talk about what we saw God take us in the future, like as individuals. Like I always saw myself with my husband and the church and that sort of thing, and I think this is sort of this is part that, I mean, even for me, I can't even explain, or even now I have trouble imagining that because I thought in my mind, even in general, that either though you can be married to someone or have someone, that it's very hard to find someone who actually matches you 100%. Like there's always this. I always thought that it may be maybe 5% that you're not really, like, that's where God takes you for the future. But when we started sharing, like, it was just probably the most amazing parts of it, whereby we said, like, and we sort of wrote back together, I think, and I don't think we really expected, and we wrote it in our own way, but I don't think we really expected that the same desire that we had, and our goal in the future in having our own families, was to have to host our own church, to see what God would do in the future. And as soon as that happened, it just felt real. Then I become really serious about pursuing Marjorie, and I remember, I never forget what I said. I said to Marjorie, this was before I knew I was coming to Philippines. Before this is probably when I decided to, like, I really wanted to know her personally. I said to Marjorie, I said, we've been talking. I said, we have said that we like each other, but I said to her that, I said, let's go, and I said, let's pray and see, like, and because we've decided, but we really haven't had that stamp of approval, I guess, from God yet. And I said to Marjorie, okay, let's go and let's pray, and let's ask God that is this really what God wants for us? Is this really the relationship we have? And I said to Marjorie that we'll pray, and I said, and it doesn't matter whether the answer is yes or whether it's no. So even at that time, we were prepared to, you know, if it wasn't working out, and if that goes well, that's okay, because God knows more than us. And so I said to Marjorie, I said, let's, no matter how long it takes, let's just pray until God answers. And so I remember we said that it was on a weekend, and that we were talking, and so and I never told. Now I never told my senior pastor what was happening. I never told my family what was happening. It was just a private thing, and I went to a service that I don't normally attend because usually I'm busy and tired from the week of work. So I attended the service on a Friday night, and my pastor come up to me, and I went up to my pastor for prayer, and he said to me, and he started prophesying. He said, "Your personal life's just about to get all rearranged," and I didn't understand what he meant. I knew what he meant, and it really confirmed. It was one of the first confirmations about us, and I think in the very next week, there was a moment that you had. It was a prayer meeting you attended, and I can't quite remember. I thought it was something like the pastor said to you, "You need to stop. God's already found the person for you," or something. And it was around the same time. It was only not even. I mean, we didn't even give God like a time frame in answering us, but God just did it within a week. God said that, and then it's sort of like that was when God really connected us spiritually, I guess. Then, and which really is probably the most important part of our relationship, really, because we're so far away from each other, and to be able to keep having feelings for each other, even though it's distant. So then my pastor got invited, after all that happened, my senior pastor got invited to come back again for a youth conference in May. In May. So, and this was the second time that I got invited, and my senior pastor really sort of said, "Oh, you really need to go. It's really amazing what God's doing there." And I was just like, "Oh, I really want to go," but so I tried my best to go, but I couldn't get my paperwork sorted for my passport in time. And I think it was about 2 weeks before the conference is about to happen, and so between 2 or 3 weeks, I was trying to tell Marjorie that I said I'd come, but I can't come because I'm having issues with my passport, and I think for a while, like, Marjorie was really longing for me to come, because I said I was coming, and I mean, really, I really desired to come, but so it was really hard for Marjorie to sort of accept that I wasn't coming at that time, but then God was faithful that my senior pastor got invited back for the men's conference in August, so only a few months later, and that time, because God did amazing things at that youth conference that I missed, I missed the opportunity, and so when that happened, God made a way for me to come to Philippines, and got to meet Marjorie for the first time, got to meet her family for the first time, got to share my feelings to her family, to her parents, saying that I really like Marjorie, I really want to pursue Marjorie in a relationship, and so I mean, up until that point, it was sort of very, very supernatural what God sort of did with us up until that point, just God making a way, and so I'll give it back to my wife, otherwise I'll keep talking.
Okay. So how how many times that Pastor Jimmy, your senior pastor, is asking you to come with him, like August 2014, and then second is May 2015, and
So
then
it takes 1 year.
for me it's like maybe because we're friends, and then we started getting to know each other, and then until there's a feelings change, like it's like there's something special, and then but for me it's like maybe he's not the right one yet, because how these feelings happens when he's not coming in Philippines, it's just useless. So
Yeah.
for me, I don't give it's not a big deal for me about him, because if he won't come, then it's still not the one that God has prepared for me. So I'm just waiting and praying, and then until God gave another opportunity that his senior pastor is coming to Philippines again. So only then that he got the opportunity as well to be with him, and that's really a perfect time, because his senior pastor first come to Philippines is he's with other people, right? And then the second one is he's with the other people as well.
That's me.
And this is the perfect time, because his senior pastor and him only comes to Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Only the two of
Yeah.
you. So that's your perfect time. So when he told me that he is decided and ready to come to Philippines, I said, "Oh my God!" So I started to recall, like, is this the time that the missionary told me that God is really going to send someone to where I am, to where I live, to, that I don't need to go everywhere to find, and, because God is bringing someone personally. Because, but it doesn't matter for me if he can't come, because we're not in our relationship yet.
Yeah.
We're just friends. We're just still friends. We're just like, oh yeah, we get to know each other. We talk each other. We have these special feelings, but it's not a big deal, because we're not in our relationship.
Yeah.
You're not my boyfriend, and I'm not
Yeah.
your girlfriend. So it's not a big deal if he will come or not. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So because I don't have a responsibility, and he don't have responsibility, because we're not together yet. So then when he told me that he's really decided already and ready to come, so only then that, and he has already a ticket,
Yeah.
plane ticket. So I said, is this our time? So I've been praying that, because he's ready, so I'm thinking like, am I ready? And also I'm praying to God that, Lord, is he the one? Is he the one for me? Because like what I've said, I don't want to trust easily for someone, especially for the stranger. I don't know him
Yeah.
since I was young, and we just met when we are old enough. So that's why I'm scared, and of course for me, I just let God to do things right, because if I'll be the one to do it, or he's the one to do it, it won't work. So we'll just pray. I just pray, and he also prayed for God to do everything right. So that's why until that day come, I remember that when I was in Bible school, when I'm still in, because when I studied in Bible school before I started in university, we are not allowed to have boyfriend girlfriend for 3 years while we're studying in Bible school. So, but when I'm still in Bible school, I keep praying for someone to come in the right time. So when I was still in Bible school, I remember I dreamed for someone. It's a white guy, but I don't see his face. Just white guy, white skin, but I don't see his face. And I saw him in my dream that he is sitting beside me. So, but because I'm still in Bible school, so I just ignore that because I'm not allowed yet. And then also I have a lots of Filipino suitors, but I ignore them because I felt in my heart that in my heart God put someone that is not comes from Philippines. That's how I felt. So I stand for that, and especially also the missionary, and also in my prayers and my desires when I'm still young is really to marry someone that that's not like a common person, that's like a neighbor or whatever. So then when that when that when before I graduated in Bible school that year 2014, before that month we've met, because we've met August 2014.
Yeah.
And then that I think May, June, July, August. So 3 months before we've met, one of our church member, she has a dream as well. Like, she comes to me Sunday morning before our service, and she told me like, "Oh, mom, I had a dream about you." And I asked her like, "Oh, what's that dream?" She said that I dreamed that you married to a very handsome white guy, and you have a very nice gown, bridal dress like that, like this. You married for this guy. And one of our church as well, she also dreamed about me that I'm married with a white guy, something like that, and this very handsome, and this, and I just ignore, because I know I don't have boyfriend that time. And I had a friend that time, but he's not a white guy, he's black. So that's why. So I'm just ignore if that's true or not. So until that day comes that he's arrived in Philippines. So I say to myself like, where is the place that we're supposed to meet each other?
Yeah.
So because I told him that I don't want to meet you in a hotel or in a restaurant or in a park or everywhere. I don't want to meet you in that places. So I decide like because I'm in my place, and I said like I want to meet you in a I want to first see you in a church where I grow up for 30 years. This is my home church. This is the church where I grow up with my family, and I serve this, to meet that someone in my church. So that's why. And you also had a message from mom, like you met.
Yeah, so there was a time, I guess before I started talking to Marjorie, like I'd like different girls in Australia and take them out for coffee and get to talk to them, and then find out that no, they're not really the right one. And so I started getting into a place of being feeling a little bit discouraged, because I'm like, God, I've been really praying. I've been praying for such a long time, and it seemed like I was starting to get a bit tired in praying. I still continue to pray, never stopped praying, but I just started to have this feeling like, you know, God, have you really have someone for me, or you don't? I mean, it doesn't worry me, but deep in my heart, I know that I'm going to have a wife, that I will be married. So I have mixed feelings at this time. And anyway, and so for a while I was battling with this, and I was sort of struggling a bit too much. And so I said to Mum, like, to my mum, I said like, this is how I feel. I'm like, does God really have anything for me? Like, I was just sort of sharing my little bit of disappointment, I guess, in my prayers not being answered at this time, or just seeing that, you know, God is, you know, planning something, because nothing was moving, nothing was progressing. So for many years, so anyway, Mum said to me, and it is very. I didn't realize even because it was just at home, and God, Mum just simply said to me, "It's like, you know what? You're going to meet someone, and you're going to meet someone in a church." And at the time she said that, I was very narrow-minded. I didn't really fully allow that to fully sink in, I guess. And so I was thinking when she said that, because I didn't really clearly listen to what she said, is that I was just thinking it was going to be someone coming out of the church that I go to. And so so I thought, oh, okay. But then when it comes time, I'm in Philippines, and because I don't know anywhere in Philippines, and so I'm happy to meet Marjorie wherever she's comfortable with and comfortable meeting me with. So, and so I sort of I'm just following Marjorie's lead because I don't know any places, because this is my first time even going overseas. So, so I said to Marjorie, I said, and then Marjorie started talking to me about, let's meet in a church where my family goes, where I've gone, where I grew up. And we met there. I was like, oh, okay, that's really good. And so, so that night we finished talking, and so the next morning we would go and meet each other, and in the church. But as I went to sleep, and then what Mum said to me fell on me again, and I remembered exactly what she said, and then it became clear. Like I remember in a church, and I just started laughing. Like inside, I was just laughing because it's just amazing what God does when you allow Him to set your life up and bring someone into your life as well. That when I was 4 years old, I got a chance to give my life into a church, in an AOG church, and now I get to meet. At that time, didn't know that whether it was going to go to as far as...
You gave your life to Jesus when you were 4 years old at Assemblies of God Church.
Yeah, and so now I find that I'm meeting, not even knowing that Marjorie was going to be my future wife, but knowing that it's going to be at an AOG church and meeting this special someone and Assemblies of God. And yeah, and now it's sort of like God just brought everything full circle, and so yeah, I went to the church and I got to meet Marjorie for the first time.
So that's what his mom told him, that but I didn't know that mom told him that you get to meet that girl in a church.
Yeah.
We haven't met yet.
Yeah.
I never know you yet.
No.
And I never know that. Right?
No, I never said that.
Only about, I think we're already engaged till I found out that mom told you that you've met a lady in a church.
Yeah, because I remember after we got engaged. Yeah, I was explaining to Marjorie, because I don't think I even told you that I was even I gave my life to Jesus in an AOG church as well. So because I was starting to laugh, and when we were engaged and we were together, and Marjorie said to me, "Why are you laughing?" And I said, just God's amazing, because I said, I get born again at the church where my parents were attending, which happened to be a church in Australia, which was AOG, Assemblies of God, and a church in Toowoomba. And then I grew up there in my younger years for quite a few years in there, so I knew how the Assemblies of God do things and got to grow up. But and then later on, being in the Assemblies of God Church in Philippines and getting to meet Marjorie, and not really, but yeah, it didn't sort of sink in for a long time, and that's when I started laughing, and I shared with Marjorie what Mum said, and then what God's done with how that God just wanted to keep everything the same, which has been really good, because it's created that we sort of understand how the structure of the church is, because it's the same even though it's internationally, but they sort of keep the same structure. So it's been really good in that sense as well.
And you also had a dream.
Yeah. So
And Melissa.
yeah. So through that time period when Mum spoke to me about like you're going to meet someone in a church, she also said to me like, and I used to always confide with my sister about some of my feelings sometimes, and she knew that I was a bit discouraged. And so anyway, I think what happened was is my sister started praying for me. While I was praying for someone, my sister was just praying to encourage me to just to lift me up in prayer. And so she said to me that she started beginning to have a dream, and she said, I don't understand why I'm having this dream. I'm praying and asking God for someone myself, but yet I'm dreaming about you and what God's got planned for you. And Melissa has this unique dream about my wedding day with my wife. And so every time I would go out and meet a girl, and I was like, oh, Melissa, what do you think of this? My sister, and I would ask my sister, oh, who do you think, what about this girl? And she's like, no, I don't approve. And not knowing at this time, my sister hadn't told me that she had this dream of this girl that she had, and she said, and I said, did you get to see what she was like all her details, like whether she had black hair or brown hair or just things like that, and how high was she, how tall was she, and things like that. So Melissa said to my sister Melissa, she said to me that the only thing that I have is that I can tell that I'm allowed to tell you is that she likes boots. That's it. That's the only thing I'm allowed to tell you. God told me in the dream that I'm strictly not allowed to tell you anything at all, because He knows that He said because God knew and said to my sister that Sam will come to you and he'll ask you, but you're not allowed to tell him. So God just kept it as a surprise, and He protected His plan for us. And so after we met, we met and we enjoyed the men's conference together, and we got to sit beside each other and that.
You also had a dream.
So I also had a dream as well. I was spending time with God, and it was, and actually even at this time, I remember this time like just worshiping God, just enjoying His presence, and I wasn't really praying at that time. I wasn't really praying about my personal life and for someone, and I started to, and I fell asleep, and I started to have this dream where I saw Jesus standing in front of me, and I see this person, and I've had these different encounters with God before in the past, but only it's more for a personal thing or usually for someone else, but this time it was different. I remember I walked up to Jesus and I stopped. I didn't go fully up to Him, and what happened was Jesus just had this great big smile of joy on His face, and then He just stepped to the side, and I could tell that it was a girl because of the really long hair that she had, and I knew, and from then I knew like God had someone for me that had long black hair, but that was as much as God gave me to do with details, and I realized that she was short, like, so when the person came out, like this lady came out and I saw her in this dream, I was like, that's one thing that stood out the most was it was a unique height. I was like I don't, and her face was covered and everything was covered, and because she was clothed in something different, like where you can't see any features or what they're like. So anyway, so I thought, okay, I was like, I just sort of accepted the dream, believed the dream, and just kept praying because I don't know anyone like that. So yeah, and that was before I had that dream, even before I was talking to Marjorie and everything. So, and then, but even back in 2012, because what I was always praying, I was like, God, I said, God, the person you have for me, I said, you have to confirm over and over and over to me that it's the one, and also because I don't want, I said, when I meet someone, when I say, when it's time for me to ask, and for me to end up to propose and to marry, I said for me, this, God, I want you to position it so that it's a forever question. Like, it's not a question that gets asked and I have to ask it to someone else again. It's only a one-time question. So I was always praying that, and I remember a lady came in 2012, came to the church that I was going to, and they had she was there for the women's ministry and having that on the weekend, and then on the Saturday afternoon they opened it up because the women were so blessed, and they felt bad that they were being so blessed by her ministry that they would open it up to all to general members, and so all the guys as well. So I was available, and so I attended, and this lady started prophesying to me, because at that time I gave up on business and that sort of thing, and God just used her just to encourage me about that. And she was about to step over to the next person. She actually even had nothing to do with mentioning about personal life or anything. And then she stepped back and she said to me that don't be discouraged. God has found someone for you and preparing them for you, and that she has the gift of administration on her life, and that in the future, she said, because God's given you a gift of wealth upon your life, that what God will do is that in the future, she will help you with organizing and administrating everything you need, and she'll be so support to you. And she said something unique, and it was a question, and it was only something that I used to pray about, and I used to only used to ask God. And she said to me this. She said, and God wants me to let you know that she's going to be beautiful on the inside just as much as she's going to be on the outside. Because I found that it doesn't matter what they look on the outside. They can look beautiful on the outside, but they can be evil on the inside. So it doesn't matter about your appearance, but it's about what is on the inside. And so I said to God, God, I want someone that's beautiful on the inside. And so when she said that, I was like, man, this really is the word from the Lord. So I hold that close to my heart, and just continue to pray, continue to seek God for what He was going to do. And so I had all these things leading up to, right up until we met. And then I think for Marjorie there was another time, and it was actually during the conference, the men's conference that we were attending, after I met Marjorie for the first time. And I think something happened to you. You said something happened to you when I was just enjoying God. I was at the front, and because I was with Pastor Jimmy, serving with Pastor Jimmy, just serving him because it's only us two, and so I had to do a lot of things for Pastor Jimmy, like just serving him and just looking after him as well. So I was at the front, and we were worshiping, and God was just starting to really move upon the meeting, and I remember it was about the time when the worship team, they're actually about to sing "You Deserve the Glory," but I I knew it was the song because I recognized the way it goes. So I was singing it in English, but everyone was singing it in Cebuano because that's what they were singing it in. And but just moments before they started singing this song, I just remember just feeling the presence of of God so strong in the meeting, and I went down on my knees and I just started worshiping God because I was just like, this is just, it was just a special moment at the time. I mean, it was nothing to do with what anyone around me. It was just a personal thing, and I remember Marjorie saying this, that something happened to her, like she's like, this man, even though he comes all the way to Philippines and in front of all these people, even though he's in the front row, he's still willing to be on his knees worshiping God in the like to humble himself in the meeting. And I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, this is what Marjorie said to me, but that really touched her heart, and she's like, and I guess probably for Marjorie, it seems like that it was a time where she really understood that, you know, how much I love God. And
Yeah, because this is it. Because I'm when before I met him many years ago, I've been praying for God, Lord, if there is really someone that you have prepared for me, I ask God to first protect him, even if I never met him yet. God will preserve him, protect him, and when that time comes, like I prayed, I said, Lord, give him, because I was many years ago, I experienced like I desired for someone, and then God told me like, don't. I said, when I think 7 years ago or 10 years ago, I said, how can I find for the right man? And I saw a lot of articles like, oh, this is how you find the right man, this is how you find the right man. So, and I was praying before, and I prayed and fasting, and the Lord told me like, stop finding the right man, instead be the right woman. So since then, I keep myself I keep myself closer to God, because only God can make me the right woman. I can't do it myself. I can't be the right woman by myself with my strength, with my abilities. Only God can do that for me. So that's why the moment that I keep waiting is I use that moment to serve God and keep closer to Him and worshiping Him and thank Him in everything. And I ask God, Lord, protect me and preserve me for the right one. Don't allow me to fall in love with the wrong person. So that's why I said, if there's still a man that you have prepared for me, make sure, Lord, that he has a right heart for you, that he loves you so much more than everything in this world, that he loves you so much, and he is faithful to you, and he honor you and acknowledge you and everything. And that, because it's easy to find a man, it's easy to find someone, but someone that is faithful to God, it's so hard to find. Because in my principle, like, how can a man be faithful to me if he's not faithful to God? So if he's faithful to God, of course he is faithful to me. If he is true to God, he won't lie to me, and he won't do anything wrong or lies to me. So that's why I said, make sure that that man is really faithful to you in everything, because if he's faithful to you in everything, then he is faithful to me in everything. So that's why, of course, since because I'm a youth pastor, a youth leader, so it's I have a lot of youth leaders, friends, and tutors, and youth and pastors, and I said to myself that it's so easy to find that kind of person with that, like a youth leader like that, but it's so hard to find a real faithful servant of God. So that's why I said, make sure Lord, that He's really faithful to you and His heart is really for you. Because if, like for example, my heart is for God and His heart is not for God, then we are in opposite direction.
Yeah.
So if my heart is for God and His heart is for God, so we have the same determination, the same way that we want to go. So I said like and I believe that if you hide your heart to God, someone will come to God to ask God to give your heart to Him. Like if I will hide my heart to God, then he should come to God to ask God my heart, that God will give it to him. It's like that. So it's really, for me, it's so hard to settle down or to be in a relationship of someone that you are not sure of, or in the future you will regret or ask God, why is this happen, so that's why I just really rely and dependent on God in everything, because I know that if I don't rely God, of course I can't, like, what I have, what I am is not an assurance of having a successful and happy life. So that's why only God can satisfy, only God can do that, only God can fulfill that. So that's why I said, Lord, make sure that that man is really, really, really faithful to you, and he loves you so much, more than anything. So that's why and then we've met, and so like what I said, we have this Philippine, like, I grew up that I respect my parents, I obey my parents, I honor my parents, though there are times that I'm not good towards them in my younger years. So that's why I said, like, if he is really sincere, he should go to my parents and ask my parents about, like, he really likes me and he wants to pursue me. So I let him do everything. When he arrived, right, he went to my parents' house and talked to them and asked them that he wants to pursue me. And then we went to no, you first met my senior pastor in the church. I waited for you in the church. I waited for you in the church where my senior pastor as well is there. And we met, and then you first met her as well before my parents. So, and then, but before you've met me, your senior pastor as well is praying for you to bless you.
Yeah. So so I ended up. So my senior pastor, when he said to me, your personal life's really changed, and that was before, when this is when we were praying and asking God, like, if he's really got this plan for us. And that's when I explained to him, I said, do you know Marjorie from the Philippines? I said, this one. And I showed him the photo that he had taken with her and everything. So I said to him, I said, I said that I've been praying, and I explained to him what had happened. And so when I arrived at the Philippines, my pastor knew that I was going to meet Marjorie and that it is serious, and the reason why I'm going is that I meet Marjorie and meet everyone that's close to her, like a pastor and her parents and her family, and so at that time, so I don't have my father there. I don't have any of my family. So I only have my senior pastor with me, and so I said to him, I said, do you really mind if you pray for me, just to bless me, just to go this time? And he said, yeah, sure. So he prays for me and blesses me, and just allowed God to sort of just pray and just allow God to just have His way in at that moment in that time as I go. Because I mean, I'm extremely nervous because it's not that I'm nervous around girls or anything. It's the fact that I'm nervous. It was my first plane flights there to Philippines. It was my first time being overseas. First time going to somewhere where I don't know where I'm going. And in fact, it was right up until Marjorie sent her cousin to come and get me from the hotel that I didn't even know him. He's just a stranger to me. So I'm very nervous. I'm very so I'm all in that. So it was good that when my pastor prayed for me that I have a little bit of peace when I go, that even though, I'm nervous, I'm not sure what's going to happen, not even really know what to say or anything like that. So, so it got to a point where, he prays for me, and I got to meet Marjorie and her pastor, and then we got to talk for a long time just before the next service starts, because we soon had to go at that time, and
So when he arrived, so he met my family, my friends, and all the church, the people that close to me. So then, when he arrived and we have all of these things happen, it doesn't mean that I already said yes to him.
No.
Or we're already in a relationship. Of course, not, not, because though we have all of this already happened, I've been praying that as well. That day before he arrived, I said, Lord, if he is really the one, then this is what will happen. So that's why if he will say yes to these things, like for example, I have to tell him everything, all my flaws, all my imperfections, all my negativities, or all my positive side, and everything, whatever it is, I will tell him. So when I said yes to him, I don't have regret, or he don't have regret because why I didn't tell this, why I didn't tell that. So when I think some of our senior pastors, they told us on the last day before he arrived, he will go back to Australia, on the last day that he's in Philippines, all the people told us that, you just, because on the first day and on the second day until the conference, on the third day and fourth day, and I think few days of the conference, we go with the people. You go with your pastor, and I go with my pastor, and then we go together with all the people in the conference, and then so we don't have a chance to talk personally in a private time. So that's why before, on the last day after the conference, all the people told us that, you go separate, you go and talk separate, so don't join us, because this is your time. So that's when he invited me to have a lunch date, right? And then and also he gave me the flowers. And the funny is that because he don't know where is the flower
Where's-
shop, I had to be with them for him to buy the flowers for me.
Yeah, so it's really not so romantic at the time, but I mean, I wanted it to be, but I was like, oh, how do I do this? So I was like, oh, so I just had to sort of
Yeah,
humble myself and just said, I'll get you this,
but please.
but I said,
Can you
but
go
don't you mind coming with me? Because I don't know her family well. I don't know her cousins well. I don't know anyone well other than, so the only person I really know in the Philippines is Marjorie. So it was very hard for me. I couldn't even negotiate anyone else to come and do it for me, or so. So we arranged a lunch. I think this was on the second day because we had the first
No,
day.
the third day, I think. Third day.
Oh, third day, yeah, because.
When the conference almost done.
Yeah, so, yeah, because all the pastors said, we're going to come together, we're having all lunch with all the pastors, so you two need to go, and
Yeah.
because you guys are, this is the last day, you and your pastor only have, you're only with us for 3 days, so you need to make the most of it.
So we went to that restaurant after we bought the flowers.
Yeah.
First we went to the flower shop. I don't know. He asked me where's the flower shop, and I don't know why. So I went to the flower shop. I mean, he went to the flower shop with me. I led him to where the flower shop is, and then he bought that flowers, and then we went to the restaurant,
Yeah.
and then in that restaurant we started talking each other privately, personally, heart to heart talks and everything. So I said like it's not because you're already here and you had all the permissions from my family and my friends or anybody. So it doesn't mean that we're already in a relationship. So that's why I say like, but because of my prayers that, oh God, if this is really happens, if this is really your will, then then it will be done. So no matter his reaction, no matter no matter what happened, so it's okay. So then we started talking each other privately and personally and heart to heart talk like, oh, this is me. If you don't know about this, I have to tell you like this, like that. So is this okay? If this is, I didn't tell him if this is okay or would you accept it or not. But in my prayers, I said to God that if He would say yes and accept this, then it's what this is really your will, Lord.
Yeah.
So after we have a personal talk and heart to heart talk, and I said like, hope you will accept me the way I am, or the way who I am really. So I expect him to say no, or I don't accept, or I don't like, or whatever. So that's what I expect, because I'm ready. If the result is negative or positive, I'm ready to accept. If he will just go back to Australia and we're still not together, or not in a relationship, or he already met my family and asked permission, I don't care, because I want confirmation. That's what I want, the confirmation of what I've been praying for. So you
and this was the reason why so we had limited time, so because like really we could have met, we could have been doing things together personally, privately, even on the second day of the conference, but because of this very thing that we wanted, that Marjorie and we wanted, and whatever Marjorie had on her heart at the time, which I didn't know about, and I think because there's a part of you that was scared too, because So it ended up dragging out right to the last possible moment that we could meet. So so we were at the restaurant, and Marjorie's just there, she's just talking, and we had our night, we enjoyed our last lunch and that, and so we started talking and starting to really talking to very deep, heartful things, and so I remember when Marjorie was saying all these things, and I was really listening, and just really listening to what Marjorie had to say, really listening and trying to understand her heart and what she was trying to say, and things, and and the things that can't be changed, and the things that I said to Marjorie as well, that can't be changed, but I remember when she said that to me, it was not a big deal. I mean, to Marjorie it seemed like it was a very, 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 very much a big deal. It very much because when Marjorie was, I remember when Marjorie was saying all these things to me, it was more so that she was saying it to me, expecting me to say, "Oh, no, it's not going to work," sort of thing. So, and she sort of, but when she said that to me, the way I felt was like I think to myself, it's not. I mean, I never experienced that. So, but the thing is that it's not a big deal to me. So doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect what I feel for Marjorie even up until that time, even as friends. Doesn't affect me that, and it didn't, and I didn't even feel like it opposed my future. So, and so with that, I remember. So before Marjorie said that to me, Marjorie had to go, just go, and when she come back, and while she was away, when she come back, God said to me, yes, and that's what. It was one confirmation that that used to always happen to me. So when I used to go out for coffee or anything, I used to always ask when the moment that I had by myself, I would quickly ask God, God, is this really the one for me? I mean, I know I pray, I know I've had confirmations before this time, but I just repeat that question over and over, and now even me, I'm a bit like Marjorie. I'm like posturing like the normal. I know it's going to hurt a little bit because there is things like she's a friend, so it hurts a little bit. So, but I'm preparing, bracing myself for the no, because that's what I'm used to. So, but when she was there, it was like, and then just God said no, that she's the one, and so I said okay, and then I was filled with peace, and so when she come back, that's when she started sharing. So even when she started sharing, I was already in a place of peace. God had already positioned me in a place of peace. So what was amazing is that, so she said everything, and Marjorie will probably never forget what the answer I said to her. And I said, and really this goes for anything about your past, and that it doesn't matter what you've done, that it's not about what you've done, it's about what God's made right. And so I said to Marjorie, I said, I'm not concerned about what's happened. And I didn't say that out of ignorance in the sense of what Marjorie said. I said, you're born again. I said, you've become a Christian. I said, you love God, you serve God. I said, this no longer exists now. And so I said, I accept that, yeah, this is your past. And I said, but I accept that that's not you as well. And so I accepted, and that was when I said to her, I said, because I said, you know what, I said it doesn't. I said it's okay. I said it doesn't. I said it's okay because everything you've done is forgotten now, and everything's been made right. And I said that's the grace of God. And so when I said that, of course, it really changed everything and really touched her, because I don't think it was a response, it was a different response. Even I don't even think if you thought I was going to say yes and I accepted, it was not going to be that type of response. And I think it's really, from that moment on, it was like God really infused us with, because unconditional love doesn't come from just being friends and then committing to a relationship. Unconditional love comes from God, and God's got to establish unconditional love, and He's got to bring unconditional love. And if you never, and when it takes one person in the relationship to have unconditional love, for the relationship as a whole to have unconditional love. And so what she said to me, I said to someone else, a pastor that I trust, and said something like that, a half-full conversation, and he had the privilege to show me that unconditional love to me, and reveal that's what God had, and so I got to do the same to Marjorie on that day, and really on that day, that was when God really released His unconditional love upon us both, and then us to be able to do that for one another.
So after we have that heart-to-heart talk, so seems like nothing changed. I am crying, and because I'm scared, I'm not scared that he won't accept me, but I'm scared to tell him. That's why I'm crying, because it's about my past, and I'm not. That's that moment that I disobeyed my parents. I ran away from my parents, and yeah, I'm a lost. I was once a lost sheep in that time. So that's why I explained to him like, this is who I am before. So I want to share with you, so you know me, not just the good way, not just the positive things about me, but also the negative things. So if you would accept it or not, so this is it. So yeah, that like what I've said, it's not a big deal if he won't accept me, because we're not in our relationship yet. So after that, but yeah, I asked, because I've been praying and asked confirmation from God that if he will accept me, Lord, then it is your will. But I also remember that God, few years before I met him, I prayed to God that, Lord, that if you prepared someone for me, that man will accept me who I am and love me unconditionally, like how you love me. Accept me and love me unconditionally, like how you accept me and love me unconditionally. So that's why that guy, send me that guy will accept me and love me unconditionally, no matter who I am. So, and then also his family will love me and accept me. So that's why that's prayer is that day got confirmed, because I found out that he never changed his feelings, his decisions, and never said no. He really accepted me, and I'm crying as well, because of I expected him to say no or he won't accept me, but I'm crying because of his response, like, you are born again and God renew you, God accept you, and you are new to God, and God will restore everything, like this, like that. So only then I started crying, because I didn't expect that is the response that I get from him. So that made me cry. So after those things, from that day we know each other on August 2014 until he comes to and then after few months he started to say on December 2014 he started to like me, to confess that he liked me, and then until even though we talk each other every night, every day, and we know each other a lot of things in different ways, but and then he started to say that he liked me, I never replied that I like him too.
Yeah.
And though there are times that you say you love me, but I never replied that I love him too. So even if he already arrived in Philippines and do all these things, and we have the heart to heart talk, only then I said to him, "Oh, okay, this is it. I've done. I mean, God. I mean, God has already confirmed everything at this moment. All the God has sent him to my place where I've been praying for so long before I met him, and then God confirmed. And because I'm not dictating God, but I know that when you are dependent and asking God to do things, God will do it for you. Because as what the word say, like, if you delight yourself in the Lord, God will give the desires of your heart. So I know that I'm sure that I delighted myself to God in every way, so that I'm claiming that God will give the desires of my heart. So even though God knows the desires of your heart, you have to tell it to God, right?
Yeah.
You have to tell it to God. So that's why I tell God, this is it, Lord, this is it, Lord, and then God confirmed it and granted it to me. So that day, that was August 20, 2015. Then okay, I said to him, okay, so this is it. After everything that we've been through, from the day we've met until this day, that we had everything, you do everything. I told him only then. I think that was after few hours when we had a talk, and then I told him before that day end, like that was August 20, 2015. I said to him like, okay, so this is the day that I will say that I love you too. This is the first time that I will say that I love you too. I never replied him, and when every time he said I love you or I like you, I never said back like that to him, because if I will say that, I want it that it will mean, you know what I mean, that I don't just want to say it and then I don't mean it and then it will just pass by. So I want, if I will say that word, I want it to tell him personally, and I want him to know that I mean it. So that's why I don't say it easily. So when I say that word, I want that word lead into forever. And so that's why it takes long for me to reply and to say that word to him, because that word is not just a word, but it's also needs an action. So that's why I said, oh, this is the first time that I will tell you and reply that I love you too, and finally I accept you and we are in a relationship. So that day.
But you said that towards the end, before we left, and when we had the date, like so after everything was talked and then that's when we sort of said, okay, now we can say that we're in a relationship, and then And I mean, even me, even though I said I like you, even though I said I love you, but yeah, I mean, I don't, and I'm quite, and because I can say that because, but that word when I said I love you before it met Marjorie, before that, is a word that I even say in general, because like even when I outreach and stuff, it's because there's different types of love, so it's like so at that time I'm like
Friendly love.
it's like a friend thing. So because even like I can go up with a stranger and I'll say to them, even in person, I'll say like I love you or that because it's just the way God changed my heart that much. Where like I'll say, oh yeah, God loves you and I love you too, and that's why I bless you and things like that. So it was that type of love. So that's what I said there. But it was different after we had our talk and we got to say, to each other that we love one another, and that because when we said this and that is when we said I love you, it's not something that's going to be broken tomorrow. It was one that was unconditional, and it was in a place, and it was a place of accepting stuff that at the time was under conditions, but by the end of that conversation, it became got covered in unconditional love. So, and really, up until this point, it's just. I guess we're starting to only at the beginning of partaking all the prayers that we had sown before God, the time we're taking, and that's why when you spend time with God, it's not, never ever think that it's wasted time, because I assure you, when it comes to the point where God starts saying, okay, now it's time to pour out what the desires of your heart towards what you've desired God for, and He says, okay, now I'm going to start pouring it, because you have to understand that with God, He doesn't, when He starts pouring, He don't just pour a little bit and stop. So that's why it's so important, and even Marjorie will agree with me that the more you spend time in prayer, acknowledging God, because God knows what you want from the end to the beginning, but as soon as you acknowledge it, then God does something, and you just wait for Him to bring the increase, because that's when He brings the increase, He'll start pouring. And I mean, even up to our first year anniversary, God hasn't stopped pouring from that day onwards. From that very day, I've never seen God back off pouring blessing and stop releasing anything that we've prayed for. In fact, I mean, even this trip here in Singapore, there's things that happened, like just even on us going to a different church, that happened where we're like, oh, this is amazing.
So from that day, August 20, 2015, and then you go back to Australia, you go home, and then I thought of myself like, how can I handle this long distance relationship? It's hard. I think I'm in our relationship already, but I'm thinking like, how can I handle this? Can we overcome this? This is because it's easy when you're just friends, even if you're far away. But if you're in a relationship and then you're far away, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, how can we handle this? That time we don't find any problems, right? And then, but because after we are in a relationship, and then on August 20, 2015, and then after August, September, October, and that's 1 year since we've met, because we've met August 2014, and then 2015 we are in our relationship.
Yes.
August 20, and then August 2015 we're in our relationship, and then September, October, November, December, after 4 months he got invited again to go back in Philippines, because some of our youth leaders, they decided to make him as our speaker in our youth conference in Butuan. So that was December 2015. So he's our speaker, and then so because he already know that he's our speaker, I didn't know that he already planned something different that can twist our relationship. So that was December 2015. After the youth conference, we have this 3 days youth conference where he is our speaker. And what is this, the title of that conference thing? Like
obedience requires sacrifice.
Yeah. So obedience required sacrifice. That's the thing of our youth conference. And I'm the youth pastor and he's the speaker. So we both do in the conference. So in that youth conference. So after that conference in Butuan, I went home and he go with me in my place. And then I never thought that before he arrived, he already planned something and organized something with my family, that he's going to
propose.
So so this is what happened. That was you choose to did you arrive Christmas or before, after Christmas? You arrived before, after Christmas, right? Before New Year, you're in Philippines.
It was the day
26.
I arrived the day before. Yeah. I arrived in the morning before lunch.
Yeah.
The day before the conference. So it was after Christmas.
So after Christmas, so for sure because the conference is after Christmas and it ends before New Year. So on that New Year, we decided to spend in our family. We will spend time with my family in celebrating New Year in Philippines. So then I didn't know that he already planned and organizing everything with my family, with my sister Malo and Char, my sister-in-law, and I didn't know anything because I'm studying in a university in Butuan and ministering in the church in Butuan, and my family is in the other city. So I didn't know that he already organized everything with them, and I'm just wondering, like, oh, why is that my aunties from Cebu is here, and my uncles and cousins and my aunties from different places, they come together in my parents' house, and seems like, oh, why is that? Seems like there is a big things is going to happen.
Yeah.
So
because we have lecture and everything.
Yeah. So this is what happened. He stayed in a hotel. And then because it is his second time in our place, and because this is his first time being in our place alone, so he's my accountability because he's in my place. So I wouldn't want to forsake him in the place alone where there is a lot of people surround him in that place. So I decided to, like, he stayed in a hotel, so I decided to be with him in that place. But we have a talk before I go with you in the hotel. So because he don't know anything, so he asked permission from my parents that he asked permission. I offered and volunteered to be with him, but I told him, you ask permission from my parents and promise them that you won't do anything to me. That's a condition.
Yeah.
That's a condition. So then he promised that, I promised that I won't do anything. I said, we promised them that you won't do anything to me, because if we like, but because we've met, I told him that that I will marry someone that will respect me,
Yeah.
will honor me and
Mm.
respect me, my personal life, will respect me, my being a woman, respect me in everything. So I said, like, if there is someone who will attempt to touch me, or like ask a kiss or whatever from me, even if I like that someone, I will reject that guy.
Yeah.
Even if I like that guy, and even if I love that guy, doesn't mean that I am willing to do everything that he wants. So it's not because, yeah, we're in a relationship, I love him, I like him, and I trust him, but it still needs to be in a right place, a right way, and there's still things that we need to consider. So that's why so that's a condition. Okay, I'll go with you, so you're not alone, so you don't know where to go, what to do, because you're alone in this place, so you're my accountability, so I'll go with you, but this is the condition. So we were in one place, and then, but of course, what you do, you never do anything.
No.
Yeah, he never do anything. So
Because yeah.
because I said to him, like, I said to him, like, I want to have a first kiss on our wedding day.
Mm.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
have a first kiss in our wedding day. And this is the reality. I want to, like, if we have these things happen, I want it happen in after our wedding day.
Yeah.
Right? So even if I love you, even if I like you, even if we're already in a relationship, and but if we get tempted to this, I don't. I mean, if you attempt me to do this, I will reject you forever. So I will not marry someone who will not respect me and honor my personal relationship with God. I will not marry someone who can lead me away from God. I will not marry someone who can lead me do wrong things.
Yeah.
So that's why I said to him, make sure that you won't do anything to me, because I want my heart right before God when we get married. So, and also I want you also to be pure before God, the two of us, so we're worthy, and this marriage, God will honor this marriage and be a blessing to everyone, because we are old enough and we know what is right and wrong, and we both have our walk with God, so we have to keep and maintain our relationship right before God until we get married. So that I thought he's going to propose. That I know, I never thought that he has a plan and organize with my sister that he's going to propose on that middle of the night on the New Year, December 31, 12 midnight.
Well, because what happened is Marjorie's sister didn't kind of understand, like, because because I was talking to Malu, Marjorie's sister, and I said to her, like, what she wants for proposal and that, and but the problem is that Marjorie's sister thought that I was going to do it in front of the family, and thought that I was going to do it in a public place, and so she went ahead. I didn't even ask her to plan. I know that they brought the family there because they wanted all the extended family to meet me before, especially before I proposed. So everyone comes from everywhere, far. I mean, like very far, over day travel just to try and get there, and so everyone made a way to try and come to meet me and to see what I'm like. And so anyway, but right back before this happened, sort of beginning. So after I come back from Australia, we're still talking, and of course it's a lot different now because we're in a relationship. So it was August. Then when it got to October, I was in the middle of prayer and praying, and I was like, and so because for me, there's no point being committed to a relationship without intention of going somewhere with it. It's like, so because lots of people, they'll get together, they'll say they're in a relationship, but it's okay for them if they don't get married. It's okay for them. So, but it was never okay for me. So my intentions were that if we're both committed to say yes, we're both committed to go that next step. So it's just whether we're ready to transition. That was the only thing I was praying for, like, and that is that like God revealed to me the next, like, when that actual right time is of transitioning from just being in a relationship to actually being like pledging ourselves actually to be and have a covenant together in being husband and wife. So I'm in the middle of prayer, and it's about October, and my heart really changed. Like, I mean, I can't really explain, but it's like I just started to feel like, I really, really want to marry this amazing lady that I've got to know, this beautiful lady that I started to fall in love with, but there's something unique happened that I was like, and this is sort of what confirmed with even Marjorie when I shared this with her as well. Like, I said to God that I said you're her father. So I said, so I really, and so in the time of prayer, I was deep in prayer, and I felt that I really need to ask permission. If I'm going to marry Marjorie, I really feel like I really need to ask permission from God to marry her. So I said to God, I said, God, would you, would I have the honor to marry Marjorie? Because I want to take her as a hand. I want us to become one. I said so I said and I asked permission from God before I even went to the parents, and they found out. So and I did that, and ever since then, God was faithful in the plans. And so when I arrived in Philippines, we always talked about that. Like, we wanted to leave. If we'd ever kiss each other, we'd leave it for our wedding day, so that it's just a very, very special day. That on that day, it's a day that it's also our day, but it's also the Lord's day as well for our relationship and for our lives. So we always talked about that beforehand as well. So and even before, I always said to Marjorie that, like, you will never hear me say that I will touch you or do anything in that way, even though we're together. I said, you'll never ever see me. I said, because I'll never do that, because I'm not like that. So I mean, I've just said that to her, but it doesn't mean anything, because we're apart, because of course we can't do anything, we're apart. So so then when Marjorie had to stay with me during that time that I was there, because I don't know anything. So we turn around, and I said to her again that no, it's okay, and because really it was Marjorie's parents that said, hey, you know, you really need to look after Sam because Sam doesn't know anywhere, and that's true. So, and so yeah, I said, I assured her parents that everything was going to be okay. I reassured Marjorie that everything will be okay. And in fact, I think most nights I was praying anyway. So it was like, it didn't really matter. I was more interested in.
I slept with him in his room, and then we don't talk. We have a lot of talks outside, but we were inside the room. When we were inside the room in his hotel, because a lot of drunk people outside,
And it's dangerous.
and then there is a foreigner in this room, and they're dangerous because they are drunk. They drank together outside of the door of the room, so that's why. And because he don't know how to speak Filipino, and that's why I keep him in. I mean, I'll be with him in his room. So that night we don't, since we get inside the room, we started to not to talk each other until morning. Until until the second night we don't talk, third night we don't talk, during the night and that moment that we entered in that room, we don't talk. So that was New Year,
Yeah.
when we were supposed to have to plan to, no, that New Year, that's December 31, 12 midnight, and then I don't know that he's going to propose, and then, but the problem is they are all ready because he knows that I told him before that when I want that when someone will propose me, I want with fireworks and things like that. So because he's not good organizer yet, because he don't know very well about everyone yet, so that's why. But he get a chance to organize a bet with my sister and my brother. So I don't know why they have fireworks at home, and then we have a lot of these foods, and my family and loved ones gathered together, and I didn't know about it. So that night they are all expecting him to propose, so they ready the fireworks, and all the families gathered together and waiting for him. And I don't know their plans. I don't know his plans. So he's supposed to propose me, but the problem is, he said, is that he left the ring in the hotel room.
Yeah, because I think, like, because I didn't know Marjorie's sisters that well, I couldn't clearly explain like what I really intended to happen at that time. So because that night I never planned. So New Year's night I never planned New Year's Eve. So I never planned to actually propose. So that's why I left the ring at home, and I never know, because I never realized that everyone was going to be there on that day, because I never got told, like, because all they know is that while I'm in Philippines I'm going to propose, but I never gave them a direct plan. So they were thinking, oh, maybe it's going to be New Year's because, you know, that's a special day and a special night, like, you know, start of the year, and so they're thinking that. So but it's not really what I had in mind. So but yeah, like, but I wanted also that everything that Marjorie like desired, like to get proposed under fireworks and things like that, I wanted to still happen. So I didn't have the ring at home there. So but then I'm thinking that I changed what I initially had, because I wanted to do it in private. That I'll so yeah, we had the dinner, we go back, and so the next morning the whole family, I didn't realize until that night, because Marjorie said, oh, so tomorrow we'll go to the beach, like we'll take all the family, and all the family's going to come, and we're going to go to the beach. So I said, okay. So up until that point, we're like, okay, so what we'll do is, so we went to the beach. So So that time, I put the ring in there because I didn't expect all these families that travelled so far, and I'm like, I don't want to. I just felt like I don't want to disappoint them because, they travelled so far and they're gonna have to go back after that day. So, so I take the ring with me, and I was like, oh, we go to the beach. So I thought, oh well, maybe we can go somewhere and propose and then come back and at least all the family members are there and everything, then we can all celebrate together. So anyway, so the day goes on, but my issue, I had a really big issue because I don't know much and I don't know that Marjorie becomes a leech, so it's like I won't leave my side. So she's with me every moment. So if I go somewhere, she's going somewhere. So I can't break free and I can't say anything to her sister, even though she understands and talks English. But I can't say anything because Marjorie will hear. So it's like it will just wreck the surprise. So even I couldn't explain to Malou that I'm not going to do it that night because Marjorie's right beside me. So I'm like, I can't spoil this. I can't spoil this. So because Marjorie has no idea. So I was like, oh, okay. But what I found out is that Malou was talking to my sister back in Australia, and my sister then was relaying to me, like, why haven't you done it yet? Malou's expecting,
and mom as well.
And mom, so everyone's expecting, and so I'm getting conversation. So that was the only way I could talk to Malou, was talk to my sister to get my sister to talk to Malou. So because I couldn't talk to her in person because Marjorie would hear what I would say. So so we went to the beach, and so it was after we had some lunch, and I said to Marjorie, I said, oh, let's go for a walk. And as I said that, I was like, and obviously God knew that it wasn't the ideal time that he had sort of planned, and it just starts raining really heavy, like, and it was like, we couldn't move from where we were, so I was just like, oh, okay.
But
so,
I didn't know that the ring is in his pocket.
Yes, so but
he is ready to propose, but because I don't have any idea during that night and even that day when we were at the beach, I don't have any idea that he's going really to propose in that time that he comes to Philippines. But I, in my heart, I felt like there's something is going to happen. So the ring is in his pocket, and he is very careful for me not to touch his pocket. So I don't notice that there is a ring in his pocket. So after that day, with the family and loved ones in the beach, celebrating New Year, then we go home, and that night, and he said to me like, how you went for restaurant, what's that?
Yeah, so at the beach, because it rained and we couldn't go for the walk, I was like, oh God, like, please help me, because he controls the weather. So anyway, so I said to, so this was New Year's Day, and so we went to the beach. So we were about to travel back home. Not so long after I actually asked that, and to go for a walk. And so I said to Marjorie, I said, later tonight, can we go out for dinner somewhere nice, and
Restaurant,
like a nice restaurant or something. And then because I asked it, because I don't even know. It's funny because I don't even know a really nice restaurant, so I'm sort of having to dig for information without her knowing. So what happened is that so I said, let's go, and so I sort of arranged with her, like, she goes, okay, let's do that, we'll go somewhere nice, and then we'll go for a nice walk somewhere. So then, and this is like, I was like, okay, this is what I really wanted in the first place, so this is what I really intended. So anyway, we got back to the hotel from the beach, and so I have a shower, I get ready, and so I get some nice clothes, and so Marjorie's already dressed, and she's just in casual clothes, like, you know,
Because
because she has no idea. So, but I'm dressed up nice, and so when I come out and I'm dressed up nice, she's like, I knew she was giving me a weird look, but what she was thinking was, it's like, why are you dressed up so nice? Like, we're only going to it's only boy again, like, we're only going to a restaurant, and then we're going for a walk. There's no big deal. And I was like, oh, so I was okay with it. Like, I didn't mind that she didn't dress up, because I still wanted it to be like that she has no idea. So anyway, but I think by the time we got back from the beach and we got ready to leave, it was almost 8 o'clock, and after 8 o'clock, I think, and
7? No,
Oh,
that
7.
was still 7,
But-
maybe 7 p.m.
yeah, but I don't know what happened. Like it was a brownout, and
Yeah,
all
all
the
the
restaurants had
restaurants
been closed,
And because that's New Year,
and it was New Year, so
that's why all the establishment is closed. We can't even find tricycle or motor to ride
So-
where we go. So that's why he said, when he asked me like, oh, can we go to the best restaurant tonight for dinner? So I have no idea where we go, because that's New Year, and
yeah.
we tried to go everywhere to find the restaurant, but everywhere we go, all the restaurants is closed, because that's New Year, and it's also blackout. So, and I said, oh, what's going on? So I'm worried. I'm started to worry, because he dressed very nice, and said, oh, why you dress very well when we just go to the restaurant and have a walk? So, because for me, I'm just wearing sleeveless, like a house clothes and pants and slippers. Then, because I never thought what he's planning.
Mm.
So that's why I'm just dressed normally, like I'm just in the house. So, but for him, he's very handsome in his looks. He's very dressed very well, and he prepared very well for himself, and I'm not prepared anything. So that's why I said, oh, all the restaurants. But he said to me that we go for a nice dinner in the best restaurant, and then after that we go for a walk. So since we didn't find any restaurant that is open, so
I
we
see.
decided to go for a walk. And so because in our place we only have one place that is better for a walk, so that is that place. So we walk around in that park, and then what you do, we went to the upstairs of that park, because
Yeah.
we decided to be in that upstairs at the upper part of the park, so we're able to look the
Yeah.
whole city.
Because what was happening was we went for a walk, and because Marjorie's always like questioning already, like, why is he dressed nice, and everything. So, and we're walking, and and I'm sort of thinking as I go, like, where is a good spot as we're going, and so we get to this place where they have all these little stairs and that. So, but I think, like, and because Marjorie has no idea what's going on, she's thinking, like, why are we stopped? Why are we going up here for? And wondering, like, why am I sort of pausing, and then so we get to a point where I think Marjorie's like, oh, we've had our walk, we've walked around, let's go home. And and she's thinking that, but I was like, oh no, let's just sit here and we'll just have a little bit of a rest for a sec. And so I didn't even say, like, oh, let's have a talk, because I was like, just being careful, because I know that she was like wanting to try and figure out what's going on. So anyway, so I decide to go and then sit down. And so we sat beside each other, and I started to talk, and I said that so I had prepared a song to sing, and I actually got it not so long after. Got this song not so long after I asked God for permission and that sort of thing. So it was around that time as well. So I really knew that when God gave me.
Keep talking. I will get the song.
Oh.
Okay, you keep talking, hon.
So we. I decided to write this song down. And I really knew that God really had sort of said yes to me asking permission, because I'm like, He's giving me this song as well. So, and so then I
Just keep talking.
and then so I decided to sing it. I said to Marjorie, I have this song that I prepared, and I want you to hear it. And I mean, for me personally, I wanted to have this because but I wanted to have my guitar, so because I was comfortable singing it with my guitar. But this time we didn't, because it's hard to take it overseas, and and I couldn't even get someone to give me a guitar there, so I just had to sort of wing it and say it solo. But anyways,
This is the song. You read the lyrics. Just read the lyrics loud.
Okay.
That's the lyrics of the song.
So okay, so the lyrics what I could give him for the song is that I prayed to God for someone special, not knowing what the future holds. I prayed that she would love me just as the same as I love her. I prayed that I would love her just as she loves me. And then the next part is that it goes, "Oh my darling, you're my best friend. There's no words that describe how perfect you are. You're amazing, you're beautiful, and you're kind. Oh my darling, I know it's a long time that we've been waiting. I'm so glad that you waited for me. I know that you've missed me, and I know that you love me. Oh my darling, my perfect match. How amazing that God would bring us together, that we could spend forever together. I love you so much. You are my forever, my darling." And so that was the song, the lyrics of the song I sang, that I said I given to her.
Yeah, so that's the lyrics of the song, and then after he sings
So
the song,
you say, so you just say, so what happened when after I sang that song? So I said to Marjorie that I had this song to sing. She still doesn't know that I'm wanting to propose. I have the ring in my pocket and everything, and so I sing this. Now in Australia, the girls there are very, very smart. They would realise that when you sing a song like that to them, that they know that that's going down that way, but in some way. But with Marjorie, because she had no idea, and because we're in a relationship for only like 4 or 3 months, so she's not expecting me to even consider this even this time I go to Philippines. So what were you feeling after I sang that song before the next part?
yeah, because I didn't know that he prepared a song and he's going to sing that song for me that night, and from that night really is I have a lot of wonderings. like, like I wonder why he dressed very well, and then I wonder why he has a lot of opportunities to sing that song for me. Then why he started to sing this song, and it's like very, it's like Han. I prepared a song. This is the song that I wrote for you, and I prepared this song to sing this song in this moment like that. And then it started like, wow, I'm amazed and I'm surprised that he prepared that song. He wrote that song, and then because he didn't have guitar, so I'm just laughing and listening to the song and laughing at him. And then I'm laughing and I don't understand my feelings. It's hard to explain the feelings. And then after he sang the song, he started to ask like, is this the heart of,
Yeah,
yeah?
so
How you ask that?
yeah, so after that, so she was starting to like, so I think she was sort of at this moment she was happy like to settle with the song, and then go home, so like and go back. So, but because she just it was, I mean that was sort of special for her alone as well, because she's like, because I just prepared especially for her. So, but so I continued and. So I continued to just keep talking, and I asked her, because in the city where we are, they have a park and it's in a circular formation. That's where we went walking. So I said to her, like, is this place? Because I wasn't 100% sure. I thought it would be, but I just wanted to make sure at the time. Like, so I said, is this park the center of the city where, like, everyone goes, and she's like, yeah, this is like the city center of this place. So I was like, okay. So I said to her, so
this is the circle,
and this is, so I said, so and it's actually a big roundabout as well. So all the traffic goes on it. So I said to her, I said, so. No,
it's called the circle or the rotunda in Bayugan City. It's a circle shape type of park, and then in each side of that, inside of that whole circle, there is an upstairs going up. So we sit at the upstairs.
Yeah.
The high, and then he started asking like, is this circle is the heart of the city?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. And he said like, he asked like, everyone goes here and everywhere comes to the city, and said yes. This goes to the west, south, north, and east, and then this is the circle. So he said yes. So how you?
So yeah. So I was saying to her like, okay. So I said notice that. Notice that this place is in the heart, the center of the city, and that everyone comes to it and goes somewhere else. And so, but I said to her like, this being the city, the center of the city, I said that, and it's the circle. I said also, each one of us have a circle in our heart. And but I said, so in this circle, I said the only one that comes into the heart is Jesus. So when you accept Jesus into your heart, this is sort of the circle, and this is like the circle of trust, the circle of what you hold dear. And so anyway, so I said to her, so each one of us have a circle, and that, but I said, but at this moment, the only one that's inside that circle is Jesus, because you've given your life to Jesus, and you're a child of God. So the only person that's in that circle is that. And so, and I said to her that I wanted to be in that circle too, And even up until this point, she's like, has no idea, like, what's happening. I was like, but obviously her feelings were, because by this time, she's like, she kept saying over and over and over, don't make me feel gilly, which I mean is a Spino word for like being overwhelmed with feelings, and so she kept saying that over and over and over again, and so from this point, she's kind of like wanting me to stop because she's so overwhelmed with the way she feels, and but the problem is that she still doesn't know that what I really meant by that analogy is actually proposing. So she really liked the analogy and really meant like, I think it was more like she sort of took it like, oh, just it's like a special moment of him describing how much he loves me, but it doesn't mean that he's proposing to me. So she still has no idea, and so I was really having to work for my proposal. So after I said that, I said to Marjorie that, so I said that, and she's so overwhelmed at what's going on, and there's sort of mixed feelings, excitement, and that, and then so after that, I was like, I really understood. I saw that she never understood what I really was trying to get at, because I hadn't physically said anything yet directly. So after that, I sort of calmed her down from her little being sort of overwhelmed with her feelings, and I said to her, she's like, I think she's sort of at a place, I can't take much more sort of thing, and I said to her, and I just started to say how much I loved her and how special she was to me, and and then I went down on one knee and pulled out a box that had a ring in it, and said to Marjorie, said to her that, will you marry me? And yeah, so she was very overwhelmed, and then didn't answer me for quite some time. She left me down on one knee for a couple of minutes. I was like, you have to answer the question. but because of what I did beforehand, so the song, and so she's starting to have all these mixed feelings, and then I say what I said about the circles and that, and so she's starting to be very overwhelmed with feelings, and then when I go and say that, it's like, it's too much and she can't take it and realize, what is this really happening? Is this just a dream, or is this really happening? So yeah.
So that time that he after he sang the song, overwhelm started inside of me, and the mixed emotion is just what's going on. Like, I have this feeling that, he wrote the special song for me, and then he sang that for me this very moment. It's a new year, it's evening, and then he started asking about the city, the center of the city, the heart of the city, which is the circle, the part where we are. And then he said like, is this the center, like this, blah 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 blah. And then I said yes. And then he said like, the very thing that mark in my mind is that he asked me like this, do you know that you have, is that the circle of your heart? Do you know
that you have a circle?
You have the circle, and that circle, inside that circle is you and Jesus. And then I said yeah, and he said like, I want, how you said it?
So I said yeah. But I also want to be a part of that circle, inside that circle.
Yeah, he said like, I want to be a part inside of that circle with Jesus and you. Yeah. That's how he said to me. He forget. And then I said, okay. And then okay. And then I still have no idea, but overwhelming, and wondering, because this is something new. I said like, because I know that, like what I've said, I never thought that he is going to propose for this time that he come back to Philippines, but I have no idea. But something different inside of me that I felt like there's something going to happen, but it's not clear what it is. So that's why after he said that he wants to enter that circle inside of me with Jesus and me, he wants to be part of that circle, and then he started to kneel down and get the ring from his get the box from his pocket and opening that ring. I said, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I said, oh my god, I can't say anything, just oh my god, and I can't breathe. It seems like it's hard to breathe. I have no other words to say, like oh my god, and I don't know if I cry or if I laugh, and if I I don't understand. All I can say is oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and I don't know how to say everything. Just oh my god, and I don't know if I cry or if I laugh. So I cry and laugh, and then he kept kneeling down and waiting. And he said like, when he said like, we asked like, will you marry me? Like that.
Yeah, so I asked that, and then that was when you went, oh my god.
Yeah. When he asked that started, I said, oh my god, blah blah blah, and then because I find hard to breathe that moment, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what to say, but he's waiting for my answer.
Yeah.
I think it takes minutes for me to answer, because I'm trying to identify what's going on. So when I said yes, and then but before I said yes, before I answered yes, we don't know that there is a lot of young people over there who noticed that when he started to sing, I think maybe they noticed that you're going to propose. So I think they took a video and waiting for us what is going to happen when he started to sing, and then when he started to ask question, and then until he knelt down, and then they all there back out there also around us, and then they started to and then until I said yes, and then they clapped their hands, and then only then we noticed that there's young people out there who watch over us, and then I said yes, and then I hug him, we hug each other, and then after that there is
so then after that, so the problem is that because of Marjorie's sister and I didn't clearly understand each other and what the idea I wanted. So we didn't have the fireworks went there and that. So I was just like, I'll just do it anyway, and so but it was really good timing, because after you said yes, and then young people were cheering and clapping and really just celebrating with us, because they were waiting and watching what was happening. So then all of a sudden, I didn't know, but there's a couple of young guys, and they still were letting fireworks off, and they let fireworks off. I don't know if they knew what was happening with us or what, but not so long after, only minutes, only a few minutes after, straight after Marjorie said yes, it was the time where they let off the fireworks as well. So it just happened that everything worked out. Everything that Marjorie said that she ever wanted to be like get proposed for happened all in the one time. Yeah, and it just worked out really well, even though it was very difficult for me to sort of try and plan and.
Yeah. So, what God has done is so amazing, because God knows that I want, when someone will propose, is that there is a fireworks, and God provide a fireworks that even if that's unplanned.
Yeah.
Just God used people to share with us and also to do the fireworks for us. So yeah, that's how it happens when he proposed me. So after the proposal, and then the last night maybe, or because that after the proposal everyone knows, because his mom and his sister is very exciting about that, and they announced on Facebook about the proposal go. And then after the proposal, rain comes down, right? There is a rain, a heavy rain comes down, and we both get wet. So we took the photo, and we are very wet, and then they post it on Facebook that there's a water. Then yeah, so that's how our relationship started, how we met each other, and then until it comes to the point that we were in our relationship together, and then until the point that he proposed me, and then he met the family to have a meeting about to announce the proposal that he made, and then that the proposal is done. He proposed me already, and then what's going on next? So so that's why we then we started to have to make plans, like I'm so thankful that God has done everything that moment. Like the proposal finished, and then oh wow, that the feelings is like transcend to the next level, because we're already engaged. That means because we're already engaged, I'm already engaged with him, he's already engaged with me, so that means we are in the next level of relationship, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we started to make plans before he left back to Australia. We started to make our plans, like we need with our family, like we have family dinner together, and then invite the aunties, right?
Yeah.
And then we started talking about the plans, like we need the wedding, so we plans to have this 1 year of engagement, and then and also the preparation for the wedding. So we are engaged for 1 year. So like this is how it goes, like from the day 2014, August 2014, that's the day, that's the month we first met, and then we get in our relationship on the next August 2015. So we are 1 year of getting to know each other every day, and then from that being in our relationship, it takes 4 months: August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. Then on January 1, he proposed 2016. He proposed me, and then our plan to have our wedding is on December 2016. So first month of the year 2016 is the proposal, and then last month of the year 2016, December, is the wedding. So 1 year of being engaged. So we planned everything and organized everything. I'm the one who organized everything for the wedding, because I know that he has no idea what will be the wedding in Philippines. So so that's why I'm the one who organized the wedding, and he's the one who organized everything that he needs to organize as well to come over. And then that's why, because his whole family is come to our wedding, like mom and sister, they all went to come to attend our wedding. So and also all the pastors, all the church mates from different church, friends, college friends, relatives, family, loved ones, and everything, and neighbors, they all attend to our wedding. Yeah, so we decided to make it to do the wedding in our church, of course, because we really love to do a wedding in our church, to have a church wedding. So everyone is invited at church, and then we will have our wedding reception in a gymnasium in Bayugan City, Lopiasis Gymnasium, which is the big area that able to accommodate about 5,000 people, but the wedding invited of the wedding is like just 300 people, because we can't carry all the people to be at the wedding. So lots of people like, oh, why you didn't invite me, why you didn't invite us, blah blah blah. But of course we just want to invite those special people that closest to us. And then after our wedding on December 10, 2016, so we decided our honeymoon in our first day of wedding is we went to Dutes, Butuan, right? Yeah. We went to Dutes, Butuan our first day, first night of after our wedding. First night of our wedding, we went to Dutes, Butuan. And then the problem is that because he's going to preach in our church Thanksgiving family day on the day after the wedding, right? So wow, because we travel from my place to the next city to spend time together on our first day of wedding. But the problem is that because he is going to preach on the day after our wedding, he's going to preach on our Thanksgiving and family day at church. He's the one who preached, so he has to prepare. So that's why we just want to go away from all the people on our first night, and then he prepared his sermon, and we prayed together, and so we traveled back to my place at dawn morning, and go directly to the church for morning service. And then so we decided that the day after that time, 2 days after our wedding, we decided to went to our honeymoon, so we will be away from all the people who will disturb us, because we want our moments together. So we decided to spend our first week of honeymoon in Palawan. We went to, is that Underground River? Yeah, Underground River, all the beaches and island hopping there. And then after that 1 week in Palawan, we went to Baguio. We stayed 1 week in Baguio, and what we do in Baguio, we stayed for what's that called, house, what's that, I forgot the name of that house that we stayed for one week. And then after that 2 weeks of honeymoon, we went back to Mindanao, to my place in Bayugan. And then after that we have Christmas, and then after the Christmas you have to go back to Australia. So we spent like 3 weeks after wedding. 2 weeks before the wedding he's in Philippines. 2 weeks before the wedding, because he helped organizing, his family helping us organizing to prepare for the wedding. And then 3 weeks after the wedding from our honeymoon, he went back to Australia, and I have to organize for the youth conference again for this year, December 2016, because we have the youth conference. So are you still with the youth during the youth conference, right? Because we have a photos during with the youth on that youth camp. Remember on December we went to Salvation with, so we have the youth conference again on that December 2016. And after our honeymoon, we went directly to the youth conference. Then after the youth conference, we went back to Australia. and that is before New Year. So it's so hard because that's our first New Year of being husband and wife, and then he needs to laugh because the holiday is end. The holiday, the leave from holiday at work is end, and then I have to do as well. I have something to do as well for this time. So that is our first New Year together as first New Year as a husband and wife, but we don't get a chance to be together at that time. So but it's good because that 2017, right, 2017, that we have I organized a conference for a supernatural conference on May this year, 2017. I organized a supernatural conference. So all his pastor, all the people, some of the missionaries from his church, and some of the church there, they come over. So he come over as well with them. So just after our marriage, like 5 months after our marriage, he come back to Philippines again to spend time together. And then we went to, after the conference, because I organized the conference. So that's when the lady in your church prophesied that you will find this a wife that has a gift of organizing. So that's why it happens, because I love organizing things, like especially the conference, because I'm the one who organized our reading, and I'm the one who organized everything at church sometimes as well on the conference. So that God really proved, and God is really amazing for giving me such a gift. And then that's why he comes, because he's part of the team, of the missionary team. So then after 5 months of being married, and then oh my goodness, I'm in the hospital after the conference, right before he goes back to Australia on May this year. I'm at the hospital, and supposedly his flight is on
the day you got sick.
Yeah, the day I got sick, but because
that afternoon.
I was admitted at the hospital, so he need to cancel his flight and rebook his flight, and he keep me away. He keep me a company. He care for me. He's there beside me from the day I was admitted at the hospital until I got out from the hospital. I check out from the hospital. He never leaves me. That's how I'm so blessed to have my husband. So that's why then from that May supernatural conference this year, and then now we are here in Singapore celebrating our first wedding anniversary, right? So this is our last day here. On our first day, we went to Golden Dragon Hotel. And then our second day, we stayed in Crown Plaza,
Hotel.
Shanghai Airport Hotel. And our second day, on our December 10, that is our wedding day, first anniversary. And now today, this is our third day here in Singapore. We are in Peninsula Excelsior Hotel. So this is our last day here. So that's why we decided to make this video on our first anniversary to let anyone like how we manage our relationship of being away from each other. So
yeah, because we extended it to our late chicken. Our late chicken, sorry. 2.
3.
Oh, that's 2 p.m. Or
3 p.m.
Oh,
3 p.m.
yeah.
Not 2 p.m.
Yeah, 3. So, yeah.
So this is how it is. Sorry for interruption. A lady come to
Oh.
check if we're going to check out this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 hours left. Left to go to left.
We've got one.
Okay. Okay. So that's for this year.
Yeah.
So we are blessed. So we are doing this because we want to encourage everyone, like especially for the youth, like how we started our relationship, like a godly dating. Like you don't need to rush, because I'm 30s already and he's 27. So that's why you don't have to be rushed in your relationship in your young age, just to find someone, because I know that each of one God has really prepared something better, someone that is better. So that's because I believe in Jeremiah 29:11 that God has a good plan for us, for our future, and his plan is not to hurt us, but of course to give us hope and a good future. So our relationship, like how we started, is just God who started it. It's just God who started in us to see vision. God has the one who revealed in us through dreams and visions, and then we just hold it until God will make it something happen and make it true to us, revealed himself to us right away, right in the right time. So that's why we encourage the young people to just wait,
Yeah.
right? Wait for the perfect time, because you desire for a good love story, but God is just starting to write the best love story that you never imagined.
Yeah.
When God is the one who writes your love story, God will write the best, because God is the best author. So let God to be the center, let God to be the architect who throw the engineer to build, and let God to be the center, as the rock, as the center that you can go to when you are tired of waiting for the right relationship, right someone to come. Just worship God, just wait for God, just be the right woman for God and be the right man before God. So when God will do something and reveal himself to you, you know that it is perfect, because God is a perfect matchmaker. Like my husband, I'm really thankful for God for giving me this kind of man that God brought to my life. Like he's really perfect, he's humble, I know that only God is perfect, but if I can describe to a man, I will describe it to my husband. He's really loving and caring, and I don't have any problem with my husband. Though it's so hard until we are married, it's so hard. We have these struggles. I know that no marriage has no struggle. Every marriage have a struggles, right?
Yeah.
Every couple has a struggle. So, but the good thing is that when you have God, having God in your life, it doesn't mean you don't have any struggles. Having God in our lives it means like we have a struggle, but we can overcome because we have God who help us. Yeah. So we are now celebrating 1 year. I know that a lot of couples, they're celebrating like 25 years, 30 years, 50 years, and as long as we have God, we overcome everything, all the struggles. Like it's not easy for being a husband and wife that we are far each other,
Yeah.
but if we have God as the center of our lives, of our marriage, then it's not possible to overcome every struggles.
Yeah.
Just pray for your husband in your personal prayer moment, and then I'm proud of my husband because he keeps praying for me every time like I felt down. He encouraged me every time like I don't pray. He is the one who pray for me. Like if I'm angry, he prayed for me. That my anger will goes away. And then so amazing.
Yeah, so I just want to add as well that, and just to encourage that, never pursue a relationship before you pursue God first, because what I can say is that you can't. The Bible says we cannot serve two masters, and if you decide to start, and if you pursue a relationship before you pursue God, you're pursuing another master, and you're pursuing, and you can get to that place where you can idolize a relationship over the one you should be idolizing, which is God, and worshiping Him, and that. So it's better that you fall in love with Jesus first than you ever fall in love with anyone else, because even though we've been, one thing I can say to encourage anyone, and especially young people and people that have been newly married, is this one thing that I've even learned in this time, is that I can never, if it was from my love towards my wife, I can never, ever, ever, ever possibly give her the love that she really requires if I don't love God first. It's impossible. So if I need to love my wife more, if I want to love my wife more, I don't go to my wife and love her more. I go and I pursue God and seek God to say, God, I need more of you. I need, and that. And the moment that I've pursued God, even over this journey, I've turned around and I've said, God, I just really love you. I really want more of you. Come and be more a part of my life. Come and do something more. Even just me personally, and it feels weird because you feel selfish, but when it's towards God, it's not selfishness to ask more of Him, because what He does is that He actually expands your capacity to love when you go to love your wife or you love your husband. So I really encourage that. It's so important to love God. The Bible says, love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. The Bible doesn't say. The Bible doesn't say love your wife with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your soul. It says love God. God's jealous. So pursue God. And let your love fall in love with God, because what will happen is that you'll be entwined with Him, and there'll be a time where through prayer without ceasing and seeking Him, and because your relationship and because you're in love with Him, He's a good Father, and He wants to give you the best. And we want to encourage you that we're a testimony of God giving us the best, and not to say, and don't ever if it's not quite right, don't settle for second best, because it's never God's intention. God's intention is to give you the best, because that's who He is. And and that's our journey, I guess, for 1 year.
Yeah.
So far.
When we arrived here in Singapore, that was 1 a.m. December 10. And then morning, when we woke up in the morning of December 10, our wedding anniversary, the first thing that we thought and we wanted to do is to go to church, the Grace Assembly of God Church here in Singapore. And then after we spend with God, not just the two of us on our wedding anniversary, but we choose to spend God and His people. So we went to that church and to worship God together with His people, and then to feel the presence of God before going anywhere. And then after the worship service, the preaching of the pastor is Pastor Reverend Lee Ming
Chum.
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 Yeah, Reverend Lee Ming Chum is the one who preached. He is the pastor, the associate pastor of Grace Assembly of God, Grace One Assemblies of God, Assembly of God Church here in Singapore. So after he preached, after the service, and then all the people go out to have coffee at the lobby or at the cafeteria. So we go to him, we approach him, and we ask him to pray for our wedding anniversary that day, where we choose to go to his church. So we had a chance to meet him and ask prayer from him in every aspect of our life as a couple, because it's not easy to be far away from each other. So that's why everything is right, and we are excited for what God is going to do more for our lives. And we want to be a blessing to all of you guys, especially for the young people, and also for the young couple like us. So God bless everyone, and hope you enjoy our story.
Bless you.
God bless you. We love you with the love of the Lord. God bless everyone.
God bless.